In today's stream, we are going to be talking about the brushes that I've been testing from Artify and looking at the new brushes they've sent. I have not opened them yet, and we're going to see, are these better? Are the problems still there? And if so, then I definitely is going to be a brush that I wouldn't recommend. But if they're not, then we'll talk about that. So we're also going to be discussing a brand new set of brushes from NicPro and my Daniel Smith palette. I just got a new palette right here, which is the Colors of Inspiration. So we're going to open this up. We are going to look at those colors, see what they can do. I have a feeling that some of these, and I didn't get it because I thought they were going to be granulating. I got it for a couple of the colors that are in here. And only one of these was a repeat color. And I'll go into that later. So go into why I wanted it as a repeat color. And yeah, so stick with me. That's what we're doing in today's stream. Let's get started. Okay, so you can see here are the brushes from Artify. Now here's the new set that they sent me. I don't know why, that just did it again. That one I saw on my screen looked like it froze, and I have no idea why it's doing that because it should not be. I mean, come on, it's just Lou and I that live here. How many people are like streaming and using up bandwidth in this house? I don't think so. Hi, George Pencil Art. Okay, so let's start there. Okay, and then we're going to be looking at these new set of 15 brushes from NicPro. Buffer for like 3 seconds. Rest of yeah. See, that's what it looked like here. I don't know why it's doing that. So I'm just going to set these things behind me, and here's that palette. Let's talk about these first. So. Sorry, guys. That one snuck up on me. Okay. We have the brushes from Artify. So Artify said, you know, they were very, whoa, I don't know which one I was just shaking, but I was shaking something. Sorry. That our opinion was important to them and that, you know, the brushes should not have been the way they were. So in these brushes, if you recall, only these 4 out of the whole set of 12, only these 4 were not wobbly. And I'm glad that, you know, the 3/4 cat's tongue, which I'm going to discuss the size in a minute because I have a little bit of an issue with that too, but we'll get there. So the 3/4 inch, like these were firm. The ferrules were firm and secure on the barrel, the handles, whatever. So we had the number 1 round, the number 4 round, the 1/2 inch flat, which again, and the 3/4 inch cat's tongue. Now, can I just, you'll please correct me if I'm wrong. Drop me a comment in the chat below if you're watching this on the replay. But when somebody says the brush, and I think I asked this before, when you see a brush and they say, you know, 3/4 inch or the 1/2 inch, whatever. Now to me, and again, this is also information because I looked it up and I'm pretty sure it's Blick that puts it out on their website. The way that you measure a brush is you measure a brush, excuse me, I am in inches here on my, well, is it going to want to pop in? There we go. So you see I am in inches on my caliper. You measure a brush right where the bristles come from the ferrule. Okay, so this brush, at best, let's be generous. Let's just make sure. I'm going to go right to the ferrule, the middle of the ferrule. And we're talking 0.42. So this is not 1/2 inch. This is not 1/2 inch. 0.42, you're almost there, but you're not quite there. This one at 3/4 inch. So 3/4 inch, right? 0.75. Let's just look at the difference in that, shall we? No, that is, oh, look, 0.57 you're closer to 1/2 inch than you are 3/4 of an inch. So they asked me, how was I measuring the brushes? Well, as far as I was concerned, I'm measuring them the way they're supposed to be measured. And these measurements are not correct. Jacqueline said I lost it for several minutes. We're back now. I know that there was a little glitch that kind of buffered in the beginning slightly, which I'm not sure why it was doing that. But you have it now, Jacqueline. Yes, I'm hoping. So with that, okay, I'm just going to say, and you know that one of my other problems was that this is very wobbly here. And they said that this, again, was a 3/4 cat's tongue. Of course, it is not. This is supposed to be the 1 inch flat. Is that going to focus for me? Come on. There we go. 1 inch flat. Not a 1 inch flat. Not even close. Right? 1 inch. Let's go to, oh. Boom. 1 right there. Okay, do we see the difference there? Not an inch. Not even 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so I am going to make sure that I send them the link. They can check out this video where I'm talking about these. So that was the old set. We only had 4 brushes that weren't loose. Every other one of these, the ferrules were some very wobbly compared to others, right? So that's, I mean, just was not, absolutely not acceptable. Again, this one too, and this guy. So there was only 4 in the whole set that weren't. That's very much poor quality control, in my opinion. You know, we can disagree, but to me, poor quality control. Now, the links to these are in the description below. The links for everything are in the description below. Those links are affiliate links, and anytime any of you use them, it helps support the channel and helps me get new stuff to be able to show you on the channel. So I appreciate when you choose to use them. Here's the new set they sent me. Let me get these out. So we are going to put the old set aside so no confusion can be had. Put that case out. And now let's look at the new set. So the first thing I'm noticing is, look, we do in fact have a barrel that says 1 inch. My rings are spinning. 1 inch flat. I don't know why. I don't know why we're doing this. Hopefully it will not continue and we will be able to get through the stream just fine. Okay, so D. Lynn says, whoa, can I get over to my, D. Lynn said, you know, I have to say I have never measured my brushes. You know what? I haven't either. But with the exception of these, because usually when I get a brush that is measured in inches, when it comes in, it says, no. I'm sorry. I was just reading a comment and I'll get back to that. So, anyhow, but when it says that it's like an inch, something like that, then yeah, it's definitely something that should be correct. You're telling me that I'm going to be purchasing this brush of a certain size. I expect it to be of a certain size. And then Joseph said, and this is where I was saying no, sorry guys, because it just caught my eye. I may be wrong. But I believe brush measurements are length, not width. That is not correct. That is not correct. Brush, at least not according to Blick and other research that I did, because when they were asking me, well, how did you measure this brush? I reached out to other artists and asked their opinion. And then I went, of course, and did my own due diligence and looked it up. So yeah, and I'll make sure that I put a link so that you guys can find it, because don't just take my word for it. You know, let's make sure that we have actual resources where you can find this information, and I will be sure that I share that. So I will make sure that I post a link to where I got that. So here we go. So this says that it is an inch, and I mean, we're at 0.71, and that's at the metal part of the ferrule, not the base of the brush, which is going to be only slightly narrower than your ferrule. So not. Can I just share with you, of course, it's my silver black velvet. And this says it is a 3/4. Okay, now a 3/4, if I measure this at its widest part of its bristles, that exceeds, if I can get this to set in here correctly, and I'm going over this white so you can see when I set this in here, right? So at its widest points, it's touching beyond 3/4. But at the base, where the brush is at the ferrule, if I can get this right. Okay, you see that? Right there. I'm there. 3/4, exactly. And that's a quality brush. I would expect for that to be exactly what it says it is. So if you don't want me to measure your brush, don't tell me it's measured in inches. That's just what I'm saying. But all that aside, so it says it's a 1-inch brush. Just know if you decide that maybe you want to try out this set, if these are not like the other ones, that when it says that you're going to get a brush that is an inch, you're not. It is 0.7 at the width of the ferrule at best. Okay, which is fine if you know that's what you're getting. But you're telling me it's a 1-inch brush. It's not a 1-inch brush. And in relation, so this says it's a 3/4 inch cat's tongue, which is the same as this oval wash. Cat's tongue, oval wash, pretty much same. And they're both supposed to be 3/4 inch brushes. Do you see the difference there, folks? And you know, it's fine if it's, I'm not expecting, I'm looking for a brush that I can recommend for you that is economical and yet good quality, like the silver black velvets, because I absolutely love silver black velvet brushes for water medium watercolors. They're wonderful. They're so wonderful. I mean, I tried like the Princeton Neptunes and I found that they didn't have as much snap as I wanted. The Princeton snap brushes have lots of snap and they're wonderful. But the silver black velvet just seemed to be like the perfect middle. And Teresa said, it's exactly how you measure a brush. So thank you. Okay. And hello, hobby artist. Okay. So 3/4, guys, you know that it's not going to, and I wasn't expecting that it was necessarily going to be as long or even as full as a silver black velvet, but you know, I have hopes that we're going to find something that I would definitely recommend. Now, these are going to be easier because I haven't rinsed the sizing out of these. Like, I haven't. All right, so there we go. You see that? Half. That is a 1/2 inch. So this is not a 3/4 inch cat's tongue. It is a 1/2 inch cat's tongue. And I think that that should be reflected that way. But because if you know what you're getting, then, you know, or you're telling me I'm getting one thing, then that's what I should be getting. And I'm really curious. We'll wet this out and see, because you see that point? It's like, oh, it could just be, you know, what they put on the brush to firm everything up for shipping. So, but again, that one firm. So that is good. The 1/2 inch is nice and firm on the barrel. And then we go to the round 7. That one is secure. So 4, that's how many we had last time. This one is also secure. It could have been a quality control thing, guys, that I just got a bad set. The 5 is good. The 4 is also good. This number 3 round is also very firmly on there. The number 2 round is also, oh, wait a minute. Nope, the number 2 round, you see there, the number 2 is a little loose. Was the number 2 one of the ones that was good in the other set? Because, you know, wouldn't it be wonderful if there was at least, between the two, I could make a full set. That would be nice. No, it's the 4 and the 1. So the 2 was not good in either set. And hopefully they will watch this and see that. But you see right there that, can you see it move? Like, it's very hard. There we go. I barely have to touch that. I mean, I can feel it. And that's one of the, definitely a peeve of mine. Like, no. The 1 feels okay. And again, when I do this, I'm trying to I'm not trying to put any pressure on these brushes because I don't want to cause a problem. But I just want to feel, are they secure because of the problem that we've already had? And then this is the 0. That one feels fine. And this is a 2/0. And that one also feels fine. So of these brushes that they sent me, only one of the 12. The size 2 is not. Okay. So how do you feel about that? Well, let me just say that the cost of this entire set of brushes, okay, and Amazon does not like us to be throwing around prices. I am an Amazon affiliate, so I will respect that. But I can just say the link is in the description. You can certainly check them out. And the cost of these brushes, I want to just check this one. It's less than probably what I'm going to pay for one of these. Okay, so let's keep that in mind too. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Their price point and where that puts them. I just wanted to see, once I rinsed all that out, how this point was. That looks like, I don't know, it still looks thick. Like I'm not going to get, I want to use this when I swatch, so I'm not going to use that one right now. But let me just grab, because I'm just going to grab this guy. Okay. Of course, excuse me, I have not opened my paint yet. So I'm just going to grab my Daniel Smith palette, my Daniel Smith and Core palette right now, because it does have both. And let's just watercolor. I'm going to grab one of my core colors, which is, this is, yep, quinacridone magenta. Okay, so the Quin magenta. And I just want to see, oh, did George bring Fritos? Today's snack is grapes, banana, and some Fritos. Oh, so good. All right. All right, already I'm seeing, see, there is definitely a problem with that. Can you see? It almost has like a hook on it. So when I try to use this, I saw somebody had asked about a cat's tongue. Why do I like cat's tongue? What do you use it for? This is what you use cat's tongue for. Who asked that question? Was that Cat's Art Picks, I think, had asked? Sorry, guys. Yeah, Hobby Artist shared that Blick lists both the length and width of many brushes. Yeah, that is correct. They give great information. Sorry. Okay, so I see that Gypsy Heart Crafts actually did answer that you can use a cat's tongue brush for just about anything. She uses hers all the time. You can get large washes using the whole brush or tiny details. Yes, that is why, there it is. That is why I love them. So let's just, again, let's just take a look at this. Right, so I can come in here and I can get this brush good and wet. And I can come over and really get a really nice wide line. I can, do some wide strokes for washes. I can just different varying strokes. But I can also turn around and I can get very fine. And do you see this brush? It's thicker. Are you seeing that? See how wow, that just made that like a wonky. See how it's like, it's hooked. It's not laying down. Yeah, no, this particular one is, the tip is messed up. So again, this is what I'm going to say to that. The brushes hold water decent. So if you're just starting and you're looking, or maybe you have a young person who's just starting and you're looking for an inexpensive set of brushes, I found the others, it held its shape. Now, again, this one is, you see how damaged that it's like the tip of that is just, it's damaged. Whatever happened to it, it's not well. So, oh, my paint puck is not pressed down. Okay. So it's just, yeah, it's just not well. So would I recommend these? Again, if you have a young person who is maybe just learning, or if you can get a set that's not all loose, because loose ferrules, no, nobody needs that, then it might be something you want to try. You might try these and think they're wonderful. They don't hold too much water, but they're not a brush that's like, it's not a super thirsty brush where it's just going to hold so much and just flood so much onto your paper. But at the same time, it's not a dry brush either where I'm going to have to keep going back. So it's kind of a nice middle ground. They do have a good, you see how that pops right back? So they do have very decent snap. If you like a brush with a snap, they do have a decent snap. So, hello, Michelle. These brushes are listed in the description. There's a link in the description below. These are the Artify 12. It's a 12-piece set. Again, just know that your sizes, you're not, the 1 inch flat is not a 1 inch flat, and the 3/4 inch is not. It's about a 1/2 inch. So the 1 inch is they're about a 1/4 inch smaller than they say they are. And so if that's fine with you, then these might be a brush that's for you. But just remember, this is the second set. They had to send me a replacement because all the ferrules but 4 were loose in my first set. And then this replacement the company sent me, that number 2 still has a loose ferrule. So that's the 3. That is not the 2. This is the 2, right? So that is still loose, which in my opinion is not acceptable. But again, for the price, okay, for the price, you're going to pay. Sorry, guys, I knew I was turned away from the mic. You're going to pay for a set of those what you might pay for one of the silver black velvet brushes. So, good deal. You decide. Only you can decide if it's right for you, right? Only you can decide. I just want to be able to show you the information. So let's moving along. Next, we're going to look at, set that aside. This is the NicPro watercolor art brushes, and this is a set of 15. So these are synthetic. Oh, the ones I just showed you too by Artify, those are also synthetic. So these are synthetic squirrel. And in the container, we have yes. Oh my gosh. See, absolutely. I agree. There was a big hook on the end of that brush. All right. So Now look at this. So here in our, about our brushes, just happened that that was what was facing up. So because it was asked, according to NicPro, the oval wash or cat's tongue, the cat's tongue is something of a Swiss Army knife of brushes. The triangular tip is for delicate lines. The edge is for medium-sized lines. And that flat side is for bold strokes and confident washes. So there you go. And of course, this has information about NicPro. It talks about their brushes. So the bristles are premium synthetic squirrel hair to work in water-based media, watercolor, gouache, dyes, and inks. The ferrule is, says high-quality aluminum, anti-rust. The crimp is a durable double crimp, anti-shedding, no more frustration with loose ferrules or stray hairs. No more frustration. Did they know we were transitioning? Anyhow. So the grip is a sturdy birch wood, short handle. And the handles say easy to clean. 7 layers of UV coated paint on the handles means no flaking or means no flaking paint off your handles. I can't read, guys, so. And in the set, you ready? You're going to get a round 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. A liner or rigger and a 3/0. How do people say that? I have heard that pronounced as like a 30-aught. But what is an aught? The 0? I don't know. So you tell me. Have you heard it pronounced different ways? I've heard, I want to say it was, it might have been a UK artist. I don't know. Like a 30-aught, meaning something over 0. But anyways, it's 30/0. Excuse me, it is 3/0. And I know that has to do with like the smaller sizes, but. And the oval wash is the cat's tongue at 3/4. And I see flat. Yeah, the flat is a 1/2 inch and a 1 inch. So again, let's see what we have because we're going to measure them so that you can see. I need to grab another drink of water, guys. I think it's a lot of talking. Okay. So each brush, there you see them. I say, ooh, like I haven't seen that before. Obviously, I took the picture. You guys saw the thumbnail. So they come in a nice velvet bag, says NicPro. And of course, you do have your little tube type canister. Okay. Let's just start right here because that's a big hunkin' brush, right? This says it's a 1 inch flat. Remember the brushes we were just looking at? And that guy looks a little, it's probably just, you see, he's like, there we go. See how, hopefully he'll straighten right out. If not, I'm sure that I could dip that in just a little bit of hot water and get it to straighten out. First impression, that handle has a little bit of weight to it. I like that. It's not heavy, but it does have a little bit of weight to it. That ferrule is firmly on there. The size, let's bring that back down, 0 it out. And it should be, it says it's a 1 inch, so let's just go there. There we go. And there you go. Like I can't even, to put that, yep, 1 inch, like on the money. All right. Talking about the Artify brush that claims to be a 1 inch. You see what I'm saying? It's not what it says it is, which I don't like. It's not a problem if it's this size. Just say it's this size. You know what I mean? Because if that's what I need, if I want a nice wide brush for doing a good flat wash, then there you go, right? See? She says no such thing as an aunt. Let me see. So Starving Artist Collective says 3/0. No such thing as an aught brush anywhere else in the world, but some U.S. crafters. All right, see, there you go. and that's okay. That is okay. So a 3-0. 3/0. Because see, not a 3-0. It's not a 30. Anyhow. All right. So we have a 1 inch. We have our 1 inch flat. Here it says we have a 1/2 inch. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. I've never heard of aught, but can't attest to say it's not right. See, like, I don't know. I really don't know. And that's why I said, hey, I've heard this. Please, please let's correct me if that is not right.
This might answer your question.
Oh, hold on a second. Alexa, stop. I did not ask you a question. Stop. There you go. She likes to randomly throw out fun facts. And apparently she was talking about the earth. So that 1 inch Artify brush is really like 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch flat. That was me. I would have returned it just for that brush alone. Yeah, so that's it. Like, they weren't right. And I definitely, okay, so I'm a little concerned about this guy. You see it? It's like, we're I guess we're in Neverland today, because hopefully that one's not going to be an issue. The way it's kind of off to the side. I can say that if it is, I will certainly reach out to NicPro and find out, you know, what they're doing. See, and that, you know, that could be too. Like, I hear that the way that Cat's Art Pick said, like, she's heard it referred to like an ammunitions or like munition sizes, like a 30-06. Aught meaning the 0. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, aught is generally a British term, I believe. See, we got information coming from everywhere. And so again, let's just look at this as, again, secure on its ferrule. Says it is 3/4, so that should be at 0.75. And yep, there we are. Like, that's definitely right there. So let's just, now, those are our sized ones. So I can put this away and say, for NicPro, as far as size-wise, if they've claimed it's a certain size, it is that size. So we've got that going for us. Let's look at these. I'm just going to quickly open them, check, and make sure they're firm. Oh. Let's see. Terra Giblin Art says, I have these brushes, and mine does not have the misshaped tip. Yeah, you see, I mean, can you see how bad that right there is hooking off to the right? Let me just get that wet. Bring this. Of course, you know I have my favorite little well over here. And I'm just kind of scrubbing on my little paint puck to get that out. There we go. And let's see. And what I will do is, see, Sheila said that too. I think aught is an old-time term for measuring, but I don't know what. I'm going to ask my dad. Maybe he'll know. Not implying that he's old, just implying he might know. Oh. 3/4 inch is really 3/4 inch. It looks smaller than 3/4 inch black velvet. Okay, so I'll show you that because my 3/4 black velvet is here. So here's the thing, and I can even get my, so you see, I showed you my 3/4 inch silver black velvet when it's dry. It is all dry and fluffy right now. And there's the 3/4 inch from NicPro. Now, size-wise, you see the base where the ferrule is here. They are pretty much identical. That ferrule size is pretty much identical. So if I get my silver black velvet, and you saw how fluffy that just was. And when I wet that, I love this brush. The point I get on this, and yeah, I'm going to have to reach out to, I'll be letting you guys know. I'll try just some hot water first and see if maybe it will straighten itself right back out. But as far as this oval wash on the NicPro, that is definitely damaged right there because it just wants to hook off to the side. And right now it's curling towards this way forward. But you see that snap? Yeah, those definitely has a snap to it. It's not as long as the Silver Black Velvet's bristles. They're definitely longer. If we look at this, on its side, Silver Black Velvet is definitely longer. It's definitely an overall bigger brush, but as far as the size-wise, 3/4, they are both 3/4. 3/4 is what they measure it here. So from here, they're correct. You just have so much more brush in the Silver Black Velvet. Does that mean that this one is not going to be decent? No, we haven't tried it out yet. So I am not going to pass judgment on him. We don't know yet. As far as that's really disappointing though. I'm definitely going to, and it could have been something like in packaging when they had it in the bag. And it could have just, bent that tip over. Some really hot water with just the tip of those bristles in it. It might straighten that. Either way, I'm going to reach out to the folks at NicPro and I'll let you know. We'll see what happens and what they say. Because this is definitely a brush that the whole reason you get these is for that point. That point allows you to do so much. And if that point is bent in, it's just not going to work right. So let's continue. The 8 round, I'm liking the overall size. Like that 10 round is decent size. The point looks good. There's the 8. Here we have the 9. Doesn't want to, I'm trying to be careful not to, I don't want to, loosen the ferrule up as I'm pulling that off. So there's the 9. Again, nice and tight. So we have the 9, the 8. Here's the 7. Nice and firm. And I'm going to try these today. These are the ones I'm going to use when I'm showing you the Daniel Smith. So we can see how they perform. I mean, I've already used the, in the past couple streams, I've used those Artify brushes. So if you're looking for how those might perform, you can always go back and check one of those streams because I definitely use them to test them out in those. So there's the 5 round. This is our 0. It looks like it's kind of leans a little to the right there, but it's on there secure. So there we go. Tara said, I'm so glad you have done these side by side. You mean the NicPro and the Silver Black Velvet? It is definitely, because that's my whole point. My point is I want to make sure, like, I want to find a brush that I can say, hey guys, okay, if Silver Black Velvet is just a little bit more than you want to invest in a brush right now, I totally get it. Here's this set of brushes that maybe will cost you what this guy costs. You know what I mean? Or maybe just slightly more than that guy, but could be worth it in a quality set of brushes that, a set of brushes that aren't going to necessarily just disappoint you. So there's the number 2 round. Oh, we got a 0, we got the 2. It is definitely a, there's our 3, again, nice and firm. Yes. Okay. She said yes. And so Cat's Art Pick asked, what is my favorite brush? My favorite watercolor brush right now is the Silver Black Velvet. I have the Princeton Neptunes, and I can do a whole, if you guys are interested in brushes, please, whether you're watching the replay or you're here live, drop me a comment and let me know. I have got the Princeton Neptune brushes. I have got Princeton Snap. I have the Mimic brushes. Those are another great alternative, guys. If you can get those at Jerry's, or Jerry sells them through Amazon. And I can tell you that right now, today, the Mimic brushes are on sale. Oh my gosh. So if you guys were in Ashley's chat last night, look at that. So that's the 3-0 brush right there. Look at, that's a nice long length, like a rigger. It says liner, rigger, whichever you prefer to call it. It's a little leaning right now. It's really off this way, but hopefully that will rectify itself once it's washed out and wet. And here's what I found out. So, okay, wait a minute. Boom, boom. Sorry, So Cat's Art Pick said, mine's a filbert of any size. Now, Cat's Art Picks, are you talking for watercolor or for, that's our size 1. And again, it is also all of these. So that's all of them. Every single one, the ferrule was secure. So first impression, just looking at the brush. I like the handles. I like the weight of the handle in your hand. It feels fine. They feel balanced. The crimp is good. All of these are solid. So for the set that I have received, aside from the issue with the oddly, you see how they're going, right? Tips on a couple of them. So far, I'm giving them a thumbs up. We have not tried them in water yet. So again, I can't, just by that first impression of how they are there, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. All right, now let me just catch up on the chat real quick. And if you said that filbert of, that was the other thing I was saying, Cat's Art Picks, you said mine's a filbert of any size. Are you talking about in acrylic or in watercolor? And if it's in watercolor and you like a filbert, then you would probably absolutely love an overwash or a cat's tongue, because that point makes it such a universal brush. They're amazing. All right. And Gypsy Hardcraft said, I did some research on art, on aught. I was reading Card Fine Art, and I definitely recommend them. Definitely recommend that. They are my absolute brush that I would certainly recommend. Here's what I found. So it's spelled aught, O-U-G-H-T, and its history was for fishermen's reels. The size of the reel, 9/0, 3/0, etc. And aught was for ocean or water. So that's why the brushes adapted it. And so in the words of Gypsy Heartcrafts, huzzah, I'm saying, like, I've heard it before, and it's done as whatever the number, and if it's followed by the slash and the 0, it was aught. But again, wanted to make sure. So you can definitely use them with water. So yes. All right. Well, there you go. I don't feel bad saying 3 aught. And now you guys know what I'm talking about, because we had this little thing there. I don't know about 0 for fishing. No clue on reels. Yeah, reels had sizes. Oh yes, reels definitely have sizes. Lou and I love to go fishing. So yeah. All right. Okay, so there we go. The filberts are my favorites for acrylics. I'll have to try the black velvet for watercolor. Yes, I don't know that I wouldn't put my silver black velvet into acrylic paint, because it's like, they're like, you know, my treasured brushes. And look at that. Like, you see how that point is just like, bam, look at that. And that is what I expect from Silver Black Velvet. They're beautiful. They are beautiful brushes. Okay. And see, Starving Artist Collective says yes. She does too. Love Silver Black Velvet brushes. They're your favorite also. Tell me as much as you can about brushes. I am new to watercolor. Okay, so excellent. And Gypsy Heart Crafts also favorite is the Silver Black Velvet. See, and I'm still searching for my favorites in acrylics. I have not found my favorite brush in acrylic yet, but and let's see. The Silver Black Velvet, yeah, I do not believe, please, if you're someone who, if a brush has natural hair in it, you might want to double check, because I am pretty sure that the Silver Black Velvet is like, I want to say that they are a combination. And so, yeah, you could be dealing with, I'm seeing that Hobby Artist was telling Cat's Art Picks, if you don't like your brushes to be floppy or flip, tip to one side when wet, you probably won't like Silver Black Velvet. Now, see, I haven't had too much problem. Well, I mean, I can, when it's really wet, like if this is a really, like you saw how that had started drying out a little bit. And yeah, they have squirrel hair in them, is what a Hobby Artist was just saying. And I believe that is correct. So this is really wet. If I move this, you see it does kind of keep that leaning slightly, but you see how it does come back. Now it is going more one side versus the other when I'm doing that. Again, this is a very wet brush right now, but and I'm kind of squeezing, but I'm not, you guys can't see that. I'm kind of squeezing, but I am not pulling on my brush. If I let this, when this doesn't have so much water in it, they're not as bad, but it does have some, not like the Princeton Neptune. Princeton Neptune, that's a soft brush. If you like a soft brush, Princeton Neptunes they are amazing. But they were just a little soft for me. I like my brushes to have a little bit more snap. And I think that's where the synthetic fibers of this brush really come into play. It's a beautiful brush. It's a beautiful brush. So these, however, though, are all synthetic. They definitely, I mean, can we see, like, they definitely, boom, you see that they snap right back. So if you like a brush that snaps back so far, these definitely do. So I know that this one's going to be an issue because that tip is a little hooked. So I'm going to set that aside. See, I also had my number 8 round. So let's compare a number 8. And here's the number 8. So my Silver Black Velvet, I'm going to line up the end of the ferrule. And if you see, so the Silver Black Velvet's handles are slightly shorter than these NicPros. You've got probably about 3/4 to an inch longer on the NicPro. Looking at the round, and I do have other sizes I could compare if you guys are interested, but just looking at the round, you see the length? So where my oval wash or cat's tongue is much larger in the Silver Black Velvet, when it comes to my round, there you go. So that's a size 8 there and a size 8 in the NicPro. So the NicPro 8 is a little bit larger than the Silver Black Velvet 8. And those are not standard across the board. So those numbers are going to vary from brush maker to brush maker. The only time they shouldn't vary is if they're giving an actual measurement. So, let's see. Okay, so Hobby Artist said, I was talking about the Silver Black Velvets being floppy when painting. It's like they bend weirdly. I don't know. I haven't really noticed that when I've used them. I really enjoy it, and it could just be that I'm used to the way that they they work. So it's not something that bothers me. But I have to say, I just got a round 6. I got a round number 6. It was a size that I used a lot when I was painting in watercolor. So I ordered one of those and tested it out, and I loved it. And since then, I have been adding to my collection of brushes since. Gypsy Heart Craft said, the silver black velvet round seemed to have a slightly fuller belly on it. Well, let's see. Now, I haven't wet this. This one's not wet yet, though. This has not even been washed out. So I guess to be fair, go ahead, all of you, drop them in the chat. To be fair, I'm grabbing a 7, and I'm going to rinse that out, because it looks like the 7 may be very similar in size to the 8. So there you have that. They're very similar. Very similar in size. So the 7 in the NicPro is about the size of the 8 in the, there it is, to be fair. Right? So yeah, the belly is the middle. Yes, the belly is right here. So where the brush gets its wide point. And there we go. So the 7 in the NicPro is about the size of the 8 in the silver black velvet, if you were trying to compare or knew what that was. Okay. Setting my silver black velvets aside, I really like the size of this. So we have the 9. I'm just going to wash a couple of these out. I'm certainly going to, I'm very interested in the ones that were bent. So this guy here, you see how that really, wow. Okay, there we go. Really leans one way or the other. If all of you are not familiar, the To Be Fair, of course, is a nod to Letterkenny. If you guys have not seen that, I think it streams on Hulu. So it still is bent. Would it be a problem? I don't know. We'll see. But again, I'm going to reach out to NicPro. I'm going to show them. I'll just tag them in this video, and when I send the email, I will direct them to the segment that was specifically about their brushes. Hi, NicPro. Welcome to the stream. All right. So with that being wet, yeah, it's still, you see the curve to the end. Look at right there. It really is curved over. If I pop these in some really hot water, will it fix them? I don't know. I'm going to try it. I will absolutely let you guys know. I will also let you know what they say. So let's put some of these aside. We're gonna try them out today while we are, move this stuff out of the way. All right. Okay. Yeah, talking about they've been, I don't think so. This is not looking like it's an intentional, right? It doesn't say that it would be, and this doesn't look like that. You know, some of them, like the ferrule will come up and it'll tip slightly, and I've seen those, which absolutely, but this, no. This just looks like a regular liner or rigger, and I mean, I love the snap that it has, and very curious, but we'll see. We'll see. Again, these 3 brushes, I will certainly try with the really hot water and see if those points don't fix themselves. So, all right. Well, welcome back, Jacqueline. Ordered your supper. Ooh, what did you get? We have like our favorite little place in town, and they're not open. They are only open in the summertime. So they're not open yet because we are still very much in winter. It has not left us yet. All right. Here we go. Next up, we have the colors of inspiration. And these are, of course, by Daniel Smith. You all know that I love Daniel Smith. And in this palette, the colors of inspiration palette. So they put out little palettes with different themes. Like there's the blues. These are available on Amazon, and I have linked in the description below. George Pencil Art says food. Did I hear food? Yes. Excuse me. Oh yeah, Tara, you have these brushes. Please do. Yes. Grab yours and let us know. Your liner brush. Does it come straight out, or does it make a hard left? Well, it's a hard left turn if I turn it that way, and it's a hard right turn if I turn it that way. So you'll have to let us know. Straight, it was like yours, but it straightened out. Okay. Excellent. So see, I'm going to try the hot water. And I have a video about that on the channel here. So if you're not familiar, you can take like very hot water, like you would boil hot water. And so let's just say that this little guy, my new rinsing well, of course with paint puck, let's just say this had the hot water in it. And you see where my water is. I would want, how about the side cam? Let's get you guys a side cam. Boom. Okay, perfect. So where the water is, if this was boiling water, I will take my, okay, I saw it freeze again. I don't know if that happened on your end, but again, my apologies. Hopefully that won't continue. So you see where the ferrule, can you guys see the ferrule is, it would be just barely putting the ferrule in there. I don't want it to wick too much of that really hot water, up into the brush, because of course I could weaken the glue that holds my bristles in. But just by dipping the tip of my brush in that really hot water and then take it out, right? I can then turn around and reshape my brush. And sometimes that's all it needs to get your bristles back. Especially when it's, if it's something that has fish and chips and onion rings. That sounds so, oh, that sounds so good. You're making me hungry. So yeah, that is, so just tip. I do have a video on that. So that is here on the channel. You can look for that. So these are, hopefully this is not going to freeze up. Last time that's what happened. It froze when I changed cameras, but oh, Cat's Art Picks is making tacos for dinner. And did I put that up on the screen? Tara did mention that hers was like that, but then it straightened out. So, okay, get that open. And now this just says, I'm unique. All colors inside are made with the highest pigment load possible, hand poured and dried to specific water retention levels. You may have noticed that some colors may have pulled slightly away from the side or corner, or may have a roundness to them that is normal for our hand poured product. Be assured that every pan has undergone multiple rigorous quality control processes and only passes if it meets our strict standard for both volume and density, regardless of its final shape. So that's what Daniel Smith puts out. And there they are. Boom. In here they are. Okay, and see, you can see kind of what they're talking about. You see the little shapes. You can definitely tell these have been hand poured for sure. And they are, I will say that right now, they're all loose in there. I could probably, I don't want to these are dark. I don't want to mix anything up. Yeah, they all are going to want to pop out. So let's just take a peek at a Daniel Smith hand poured half pan. There we go. And this is the color Wisteria. And that is, I don't want to mix that in. That was a little piece probably from one of these. And so you see, I'm not worried about this coming out. Once I get this nice and wet, they will stay in there. They'll stay in. If they don't, I could always just take like a little drop of these. But, we freeze at the most opportune time. Like, let me make faces. It freezes so well. making chicken, chili, oh, green chili chicken enchiladas. So Lee just asked me too if I wanted chicken enchiladas the other day. When I make enchiladas, I make like a whole bunch of them and then we freeze them. So if you weren't so far, I'd bring you some. Oh. Okay, breakfast here. Cold, miserable day. Oh, that's right, because we're coming into spring, which means you're going into fall. Yeah, ooh, hazelnut flavored coffee. I do like some hazelnut coffee. All right. Oh, great question. So hobby artist said, is the lid of the palette lying fully flat? Right now it's not. It is not flat, and it does not lay fully flat. This is not going to be a one that you're going to mix in. This palette is not going to be for that for sure, because it does not lay flat. So let me pop you over here, boom, to the side cam. See, if I lay that down, that's it. That's as far as we go. So yeah, it's not going to lay flat. I'm not mixing in this. I mean, I guess if I was holding it, right? If I was holding it like in my hand, like so, and I was in, out in the field, I could absolutely mix on this if I was doing it that way. So does that help you? I hope that definitely answers your question. We'll go back over here. All right. So let me go over the colors with you. And there are other sets, like I mentioned. And in the description below, I have linked these. And I linked you to them on Amazon. Because I was so surprised when I got these, and they're a couple dollars more right now than they were when I got them. So, these things fluctuate, but this was cheaper for me on Amazon than it was on, say, Blick or Jerry's, which I was shocked. And that's why I was like, I am getting it right now. So I couldn't pass it up. I had to grab it. I also really loved the colors that were in it. And so, yeah, all except for Moonglow, because here are the colors right here. Here are the swatches of the ones that I have. So with the exception of Moonglow, I didn't have any of these colors. So I was like, yes, I definitely want that. Oh, excellent. Thank you, Jacqueline. Said she has seen the brush fix video, and it's one of her favorite tips. Excellent. Okay, so they have other sets. They have a blues set. They have so there's the ultimate mixing set, colors of inspiration, which is what I have. There's the Sketcher set, which you see these colors right here are in the Sketcher set. There is the ultimate mixing set is, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it is all of these colors right here. This one, of course, is mine. There is the blues, which look at these blues. They're gorgeous. Then you have the floral, cottage garden cottage gardens to botanicals. That's this set. The desert to mountains set is this one here. So yeah, they're gorgeous. Same pigment, different packaging. And so you see here, and this is why, remember I told you I was going to let you know why I wanted to get the Moonglow. I already have Moonglow in the tube paint, and I wanted to find out, is it the same? Because it says here, right? Same pigment, different packaging. So Daniel Smith is saying you're getting the same pigment, whether you get the tube, the sticks, or the smaller this is a 15 ml tube, a stick, a 5 ml tube, and then the hand poured half pans. Same pigment, different packaging. So no matter what you get. Well, I have, sorry, I'm turning around here, guys, for a second because I just want to grab them. They're sitting here. I do have some of the sticks, but I thought, you know what? This had Moonglow in it. I have Moonglow in the tube because I have poured it into my Daniel Smith palette and have since created my own half pan of it. So I have it from the tube. I have it now in their hand poured. I'm going to order it in the stick, and we're going to actually look at that and see, are they the same? Are they the same? Do they react the same? Like when I wet them, do they look the same on? We're going to look at that. So as soon as I get that in, you can watch for that video. That's going to be coming because I really want to know. My mind wants to know. They say same. Are they the same? And of course, same pigment. Same pigment means the same pigment is in each of those. I understand what they're saying, but do they act and react the same regardless of which one you choose to get? We're going to find out. And Pell says, I need a hall pass. All right, we'll give you one. You just missed all these stuff about brushes. Today we are looking at the NicPro set of 15. These guys right here, which come in a container like this. So you can watch the replay later and get caught up in what those are. All right. So Gypsy Heartcraft says they pour their half pans from the tube. Yeah, but I want to know if when you buy a tube, pour and dry them in a pan. That's what they did, so people can get them at a different price point without having the extra in the tube. Yes, but the sticks, are they the same? Some people say, yeah, absolutely. They work exactly the same. So we're going to find out. We're going to find out. I have some and I'm going to get some more, and I'm going to get the one that I have in all 3 versions. And just because I think that would be valuable information for people who are interested in Daniel Smith, like me. All right, let's look at these colors. Okay, and I put my swatch card here, right here. So for starters, I'm just going to do a small one, but I'm also, because I can't help myself, if I can find my little, where I set my cards. So I'm going to do them just down the line here, but I'm also going to do them a little bit larger so that we can see, because I think these are going to be very granulating for, I would say 5, if not 6 off, if not all 6. All 6 may not be, but I think at least 5 of them are going to be. And that is not why I bought the set, but I'm just so into the granulating colors right now. So let's see. Let's find out. And I'm going to get a smaller brush. I'm going to get a smaller brush for this guy. We're going to do this first. So I'm knocking paintbrush things all over the place here. Actually, let me turn this way for you. And you can't see, this is just my Faber-Castell Click and Go. And I'm going to switch up so that you guys can see our, that's not the right one. Let's go, I want my overhead and the side. Boom, like that. There we are. I'm going to move that out of your way so that I can have this guy up here so that you can see the colors. And would you rather have it on the side like that, or do you want me to switch so you're seeing the side as your small view? Which do you guys prefer? Whichever you prefer, that is what we shall do. Yeah, Michaels has their annual sales going on right now, 60% off their canvases. And the only canvas I've ever really been interested from them is the, oh, and now I can't say because that was that Michaels? Yeah, I think it was Michaels. The Artist Loft, that's Michaels. But the professional level that has the really thick. I've shown you guys that before, how nice the stretcher bars are on those. They're really nice. So the side is closer and easier to see, I think. Well, let's just flip her around for you. How about that? Okay. All right. Here we go. So first thing I'm going to do is I am just going to trusty pipette here. Pipettes. We're talking about pipettes again. Basically, I'm just going to put a drop of water or two on each of these colors, or 3. I just want to start getting them wet. There we go. Just kind of, because I know that they were loose in their pans, I'm just trying to get this water to move around. Let it kind of get down in there. That one, this guy right here, I don't know which color that is. I will know the second it looks like Moonglow. It's not wanting to kind of go over. Hi, Alicia. Oh, that sounds so good too. Okay, guys, I think you have definitely established I am hungry today. See that? Now, if Lou was watching, I'd be like, hey, do you see that? Chinese sounds great. We'll be done streaming after a little after 5. I don't know. We'll see what time we're done, but it does sound good. And then we had plans for leftovers. That does not sound exciting. Okay, so first one we have, now I did put the line here so you can see how opaque. Let's see how opaque they are. And we're going to start off with Wisteria. This is Wisteria. And so first, okay, that's re-wetting very well. No problems. I haven't had problems with a lot of my Daniel Smith colors re-wetting. If I do, like you just saw me do, and put a drop or 2 of water on them and just let them sit for a moment, they tend to be great. Like I know I've heard like some colors, like a lot of people say that Daniel Smith's Potter's Pink doesn't like to re-wet very well. I don't have that color yet, so I can't speak to that. I said yet. I have to get it. I'm looking at you guys like you can see me and you can't. So let's see the Wisteria. So here we're going to start with the mass tone. Right. So at its mass tone, that's probably going to be 2. I'm not going to be able to fit all of these if I keep making them this large. That looks quite opaque at first. I'm just going to dip in one time. Let's come up to that. Ooh, look at that color. Dipping in a second time. Coming back up. Oh, look at that color. Beautiful. Beautiful color. That's the Wisteria. You can see that on the overhead too. Where's that? I'm like, wait, how do I get there? I can't get there from here. And if you're in Maine, if you're from Maine, that's funny because that's a Maine thing. You can't get there from here. Good old fashioned burgers and fries at Joseph's house. We haven't had just burgers in a while. That's usually our like, what do we want for dinner? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And Lou's like, I don't know. We've been trying to decide all day. Neither of us can figure it out. And then we run out of time and it's like 6:30. He's like, what do you want? Fine, we'll have a burger. And we had burgers. So that is the Wisteria. This is the Lavender. Lavender. See, that mass tone is pretty. Now this one, I don't know. I didn't want to rinse that all out, but I just did. Anyways, that's fine. That's fine. I'm just not gonna be able to pull it out as much as I'm gonna grab a little extra here because I rinsed it out. I didn't want to rinse it out. Yeah, I just wanted to dip in and grab more water. And now I'll rinse it out and then come up to it. Oh, I put on a roast beef. All right, there we go. So there's our lavender. And let me real quick, because I did not share that with you guys. And I'm pretty sure it says, in fact, I know it says, grabbing my little card again. Because for those of you like me, I am interested. I want to know. For the pigment information, so your Wisteria is, of course, PW6. So that's going to be like your titanium white. So that is why, we see that opacity there. And it doesn't really look chalky, but it's definitely more opaque. And then PR 122. The Lavender, again, had PW6, and then it has PV15, so Pigment Violet 15, and PB29, so Pigment Blue 29, which is Ultramarine. And I'm curious to see how this, I'm already seeing granulation starting up here. I'll bring that up closer to the overhead after so that you can see that. But okay, and so this one is Rose of Ultramarine. So let me just grab clean water here. So we have Rose of Ultramarine. And this is PB29. Of course, that's Ultramarine. And Pigment Violet 19, PV19. All right, here comes that ooh, look at that mass tone. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, that's a gorgeous color. Oh, I'm really liking. I need to move this down a little bit. I may run out of space. I'm getting got a little too heavy-handed with some of these. Oh, here I go again, trying to really rinse my brush out. I didn't want to really rinse my brush out. Oh, look at that. Now I'll rinse my brush out. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, the granulation in that one is going to be gorgeous. Gorgeous. Ugh. That's beautiful. Okay. So next is Moonglow. And I have swatched this one before. This is one of my favorite Daniel Smith colors. For sure. One of many. And for those of you who do not already know, Moonglow is made with, you have Pigment Green 18, which is PG 18 is Viridian. And then there is PB 29, again, Ultramarine, and then Pigment Red 177. And Moonglow, look at that color. So in its mass tone, it is almost black. Almost black. And I wonder if you guys can see, I just want to see my backup. I've got another cam. How's that? I know that takes over the whole screen, but let me just see if I can. Sorry guys, I don't like moving you when I have you on here, but it's kind of washing these out, but I don't know. We'll see. Nope. I'm going to stop that real quick. I touched which I bet it would be gorgeous, but not what we're doing right now. Sorry, guys. Touch that Rose of Ultramarine. Are you headed out, Cat's Art Picks? If you are, have a great rest of your day. Okay. Next color that I'm doing is Shadow Violet. Shadow Violet, this is a new one to me. I have seen wonderful things with this one, but this is starts with a pigment orange. So it's PO73, again PB29, and then PG18. So Viridian, Ultramarine, and then orange. So Shadow Violet. Again, this is also, well, in its mass tone, it's almost an umber. Like that's not coming through very well because of the glare. That's almost like an umber in its mass tone. Yeah. It's a very, very much like an umber type color. Look at that. All of these colors, I think, you've got the ultramarine in so many of them. So there's going to be so many that you're going to get that granulation. Look at that. Beautiful. And the last one is Serpentine Genuine. And so that's it. That's just genuine serpentine. I say serpentine. I like turkey too. I'm seeing that you guys are talking about food. We only have turkey usually around Thanksgiving, but ooh, look at that green. Oh, that is beautiful. That is a beautiful green. Oh, please don't touch the other one. That's something I would do. Obviously, I've already done it. The brush that I see, Alicia, I see your question, and the brush that I am using right now is the number 7 round in the NicPro. The link is in the description below. We are testing these out for the first time today. And so far, the responsiveness of the round and the point I'm liking. All right, there we go. So there are colors, and this camera is showing you this much brighter than it actually is. That is more of an earth gray. That's not that bright. Let's go back to this guy, and I'm going to actually turn that for you there. There you go. That is a much, much better representation of that color. There you go. Much better representation of those colors. So what do you think? What do you think of those 6 right there? I love them. I love them. I am really excited. Like that Shadow Violet. I can't wait to see how that like separates. And in fact, so I want to get these now. I want to see them larger. You're welcome, Alicia. The granulated paint. Are you talking about the Schminke? The Schminke super granulating paints? And Schminke they call them super granulating paints because they are multiple pigments, all of which are granulating. So because they not only use, so where some of Daniel Smith's paints are beautifully granulating, look at how that is like the Rose of Ultramarine. Look at how that is separating out. As soon as this dries more and I can lift it, I'm going to bring it up close to you guys on the overhead. Yeah, that's it. Super granulating paints. Okay. So the Schminke paints, they're called super granulating because they are made up of multi-pigments where every pigment is a granulating pigment. So that's why they call them super granulating. Where some of Daniel Smith's paints may be a combination of 2 pigments where maybe one is granulating, one isn't necessarily granulating color. Schminke's granulating sets, the ones that are specifically granulating colors, are the super granulating set. Any in the super granulating line, all pigments used to make all of those colors are granulating colors. So if that, just a little tidbit, if that makes sense. I'm sure that makes sense to you guys, but if you didn't know. Okay. Let's see that. I want to see these a little bigger. Are you ready? Just a little bit. Actually, this is not going to, that's not going to quite do it. I can swatch, I can swatch them larger for you if you want to. I don't think we need to. I'm going to just, I want to dive in and I want to try something. So okay, Alicia said, oop, it was just started going fast. Oh, okay. You take care. Take care, Ashley. Hopefully it is nothing too serious. We will catch up with you later. Be safe. The reddish purple color next to the Moonglow is Ultramarine. So this reddish, I'm assuming that you mean this reddish purple color right here. This is Rose of Ultramarine. So it is PB29, which is Ultramarine, and PB19. So Pigment Violet 19 and Pigment Blue 29, but it's primarily Pigment Blue. Pigment Blue 29 comes first. So yeah, look, isn't that, it is gorgeous. Let me pop to the overhead and just bring this up so that you guys can see. Look at how, and look at where I got extra water in here. You're going to be able to force some beautiful back runs in that. That is Shadow Violet. And so there's the Rose of Ultramarine. This is the Lavender. There's the Wisteria. Every single one of these I see, every single one of these is going to granulate. Look at that. Look at Serpentine. Look at how that one is like separating. That's gorgeous. And here you can see the blue. See the blue separating in there? Because again, this is Moonglow. And you can get some really neat things with Moonglow. Sometimes you can get that to separate out where the pink, that pink tone will just, and that's from the PR177, it'll just look pink and everything else kind of push around. It's gorgeous. All right, I'm going to grab, let's get a larger one. Instead of, I was going to do larger swatches, but now I think, oh, aren't they? Oh. I'm just catching up on chat really fast. The green. Oh, Jacqueline asked what the green is. So that green is the Serpentine Genuine. So that is made from genuine serpentine. It would be part of the Daniel Smith Primatech line. All right. Oh, it just became one of my favorites too. Starving for sure. That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous. And terraces. They are lovely colors. Yes, they are. All right. You know what I think I want to do? I'm just seeing these colors and I'm like, how are they going to play together? Now I have a plate here. So if I need to mix, just a ceramic plate, if I need to mix some colors, I can do that. I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to set all my brushes actually on the opposite side for now. If I need those, I can grab them. I might grab the cat's tongue, oval wash, whichever you prefer. Same thing. The Rose of Ultramarine and Moonglow and Serpentine. Yeah. Alicia, I would say if you like some of these other colors, definitely, I mean, unless you want the tubes because you want them to be, you want more paint and be able to refill it. And I totally understand that. But this set, again, I've linked it in the description below. It was a few dollars less than it is right now, or at least prior to the stream when I got it. it was a great deal for 6 colors. For 6 colors. We're not supposed to say prices, but I'm just gonna tell you guys, it was less than, for me, it was less than $4 a color. Okay, so I'll put it that way. You guys can do the math. Okay, but at that price, I was like, I need all 6 of these in my life. And again, I already had Moonglow, but I wasn't worried about that because I absolutely love that color. So I'm just going to go, you know, I love to do the wet and wet. Just kind of, this washi tape I had set down last week because I was planning on doing stuff with you guys last week. Let me move this up. We're not quite, I'm going to turn that sideways so we can see all of those colors. I'm going to put my finger in that and then move that up. How's that? Can you guys see that better now? Okay. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. Definitely worth checking out. And again, the links are affiliate links and it will not cost you more, but it is definitely helping me start to get supplies to be able to share with you guys on the channel. So to everybody who's been using them, thank you so much. Huge, huge appreciation for doing so because I appreciate the support. Is the washi tape acid free? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I have a set with, well, you guys I've shown it before, but it's right here. So I'll show it. I'll show it again. I have a whole bunch of them. I have a whole bunch more than this. These are just ones that I keep on here. And this was actually a little, if I flip this, from the dollar store. It was like a little sign that was out at Valentine's Day, like last year. And I grabbed the box because, you know, it's just a hollow. You're supposed to, it's like made out of chipboard. And you would set it on a shelf, sign facing out. I was like, no, that's perfect to put all my washi tapes in. And I haven't been able to find another one since. I keep, every time I'm like, I go or Lou goes, I'm like, look for one of those signs. I need another one for my washi tapes. But yes, these are acid free. I don't have any problems with putting them here. But this is not my favorite tape. If I was doing something that was, I was really, oh, thank you, Lisa. I am. Yes, I have been feeling better today. I sent Lou a message. I was like, I'm going to be going live at 3, just so you know. And he was like, oh, you must be feeling better. And I was like, I have to go live. I didn't go last week and I miss it. So anyhow, yes, I am. I am feeling better. It's crazy. It wasn't a cold thing or an illness thing. It was actually a problem brought on by medication. And that was, I didn't know. Guys, you know, be really careful. When you start new meds, it is so important to pay attention to all the signs and symptoms and different things that are happening because, yeah, it like messed with my blood pressure. And I didn't realize it at first. And this is buckling because it's not staying taped down. It's fine. I'm not going to get upset. It's been here for a week and it's not wanting to stay. But what I started to tell you was my favorite. If I was doing this where I was painting a painting that I was going to want to sell or, you know, for someone or something like that, that is a great tip for the washi tape. I have seen that before and it holds them in. Sometimes I like to pull mine out too so I can set it and then rip it off. And then sometimes like I just set them in there and then stick it on to hold it. But yeah, if you're just going to pull it out, that's a great tip. Thanks for sharing. Okay. So anyhow, my favorite tape, it's the Holbein. Holbein makes it and it is wonderful. I will try to look it up and then link it below later, or I'll try to use it next time. That's what I'll do. I will use it next time so I can show you guys. That tape is amazing. Now, this brush is not what I'm going to put in here because this is a great example with half pans. I am on the search for the palette that I want. You hear that? This paper is warping. It's just Canson. This was not what I was intending to do with it. So, but it was ready and I was like, I'm just going to use that today. So we're using what we had. I can tell you that if I was using the cotton paper, my colors would be a lot more vibrant, I'm sure. Oh, absolutely, I will. Okay, thank you, Belle. If we look at this brush is not going to want to fit in this little tiny pan. But one thing that I can do is I could use a smaller brush, grab my color, and that's still not even a smaller brush. Oh, here, I'm like, where's the one I was using? So I could use a smaller brush, grab my color, put it on my plate, you know, to mix it, and then use my larger brush if I wanted a nice flat wash. I'm not worried about a flat wash right now, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to set that brush aside. But just a tip, okay? Because if you have half pans and you want to use a big brush to do a nice, beautiful flat wash, grab your color, mix it all up, and then go in with that and use your brush. Okay. Roasting turkeys. I'm just like keep catching some of you guys' chat there. It just sounds delicious. All right. But today I'm thinking, you know what? Look at these colors. Like, let's just try to throw some of this in and do, I'm thinking the Rose of Ultramarine. Because I see it here on my desk. Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof Way, I always have it on my desk. Oh, look at that. This paper still, it's just so thirsty. It sucks that water right in. This is not going to be wet enough. I want a really wet wash. I'm gonna throw a bunch of water at this paper. Just because I want to experiment. Yeah, see. This, did you see how that, like, it didn't move? Like, I touched that. That's wet. That should just be, it should be moving. They're not core watercolors where they just explode, but even still, they should be moving. But that's all right. It's because it's the Canson paper, that Canson XL. It's a cellulose paper. I'm not a fan of it for watercolor, by any means. Yeah, see, you just kind of drop it in, and it doesn't want to really do much. It's all right. We're gonna just play. We're gonna play. I'm going to drop a little bit of that was the Wisteria. Now, see, that's moving. Yeah, that's moving. I probably built up the water now. There we go. Look at that. It is moving. All right, rinse that out. Clean that brush off. Let's grab a little bit of the lavender. I'm going to drop a little bit of that in. Ooh, I bet that would be pretty mixed with a little bit of Moonglow. Oh, thunderstorms for George. I don't like thunderstorms. We had wind blowing yesterday. Like, I just do not like the wind. I'm just kind of, while I'm doing this, I'm getting some of that water to go down the side of that pan so that it will help it stick. All right, I'm just dropping some of that in. I want to make like kind of like a galaxy sky. All right, now I'm going to grab my Moonglow. Yep, that's what we're going to do. See how that kind of starts to mix. I'm going to drop some right in here too. Again, you see it's already, it's not moving again. is definitely just the paper sucking up all that water. I'm just going to re-wet that. And as I get to the edge, you'll start to see it pull out into it, which is fine. Look at that. See that explode? Just look at the color. Just that's what I want to see. Yep. Now I can get in there. And I can just come in here with like the corner of my brush. Grab that up. Drop that down in there, but I'm going to want it to be darker. So I really want to get a lot of that on there. Oh, a turkey in the oven bags. Oh my gosh, they're so delicious that way. I think it's like Reynolds wrap. Reynolds makes them. Again, I'm just kind of attending to some of your conversation here. I'm going to want that to get nice and dark. This is just, I think it's the paper. I really do think it's this paper. It's not giving me what I want. Definitely not giving me what I want. Now, I'm only using the paints that were in the set. I would absolutely drop in like some lunar black to go around this if I was just grabbing, you know, anything from my Daniel Smith palette. I would absolutely grab like some lunar black and throw that in there. This is going to need to dry to add layers. Wow, that's a big change in temperature, Belle. From 70s to 30s. Sounds like something we'd have here. I bet Jacqueline could relate to that too. She's over there in Nova Scotia. Look at the granulation, like just the granulation. You see all that that's happening there? Ugh, lunar black would be beautiful in that. Let's just force a few runs here. I'm just splattering in a little bit of water. It's going to push some of this out. It's going to give me some stars all on its own. See that? This is not as dark as I would want it. And what I think I'm going to need to do with this piece, and this is a little larger than I would want it to be. So I'm just going to come in and just kind of move over it, right? I don't want it to be that large. I wanted those smaller drops for sure, but I don't want the big ones. So now I would need to set this aside because I want darker. I want this, some of this to be, you know, like that galaxy, like the, you know what I mean? With those colors, but I'm going to want a lot of this to get much darker. In order for that to happen, I'm definitely going to have to let this dry. So if I want the wonderful granulation that's going to add to that whole night sky, I need to let this dry on its own. So I'm going to set that aside for sure, and I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to come back to this and it will add layers. And what I'll do is I will keep working on this, and then I'm going to update you. I'm only going to use the colors that are in the set, and I will record it. And then what I'll do is I'll just make a short, quick video, it's time lapse for you guys, and I'll put that out of actually finishing this, because I think this has potential to really. I don't want to play with it too much. I'm going to fiddle with it, and then it's going to lose some of what it. Yeah, I don't want to play with it. I just can see where I don't want to get some hard edges here. So I'm just kind of going over a few of those spots to kind of spread that around. So that's what I will finish that, and I will record it and post a time lapse of that. So, but look at the granulation in those colors. Look at that. If you like granulation, this set is definitely not going to disappoint. Those colors are beautiful, and they can play very well together. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. Let's take a really closer look at these here. Just look at the separation here, especially on this one too. And you see that where it pushed the background? Look at how you have that blue just left there. Teresa, you heading out? Thank you for being here today. We will see you next time. Look at that blue. And that is just like, I love it. So imagine if you're using this color and you want maybe, gosh, I'm trying to think, like if we used it for, why that's there, that's better. You can see, I could picture many places like for nature where that would be a definite benefit. And you could drop in the water to force a background and reveal that blue undertone. It's gorgeous. And Moonglow. This is the first time my Moonglow doesn't normally look like that. Yes, those colors in the mass tone, absolutely. But the way that it has, in fact, I can show you. So here is this. Come on, focus. Okay, there's Moonglow from the pan. And here, let me turn that sideways so we can see. That second one right there is Moonglow from the tube. So the colors are similar. I have a little bit more of the blue granulating. I don't know why it's doing that today, guys. I have no idea. But, so you can see on those, it's just a little different. And I think it's going to be different every time you do it. So, any questions on the things that we looked at today? So far, I'm liking these brushes. This was just, I mean, this was not doing anything that was, anything elaborate. So, and I could do another quick. There's one thing that I do. I'm going to set this aside so that it can dry. Here's a small one. Let's look at that green. Let's just look at the green. Just real, because this is a fast one. And yeah, this won't take long at all. This here. So one of the things that I like to do is I will take, and I definitely need the paper wet for this. This is one of my favorite, when I'm just trying to relax, I don't know what I'm going to paint. Undersea green is my favorite for doing this with. If any of you have Daniel Smith's Undersea Green, I encourage you, give this a shot, because it is perfect for it, because you get that atmospheric perspective without even trying. So think about a very foggy seen, I just almost went for my, just habit. I was like, went to grab my silver black velvet brush, not the brushes we're using today. Okay. So it separates out. Undersea green will leave you this in a very wet wash. The yellow will kind of disperse into the background and just kind of fade away. And you're left with this like really cool blue tone that is gorgeous for like that whole atmospheric perspective, like all those trees way in the distance. And then as you build it up, you can build it up so it's mass tone. It's very warm. It is a very warm color. So as you come closer and you add more of that green, it is gorgeous. I'll share over on MeWe a card that I recently did for somebody for their birthday. And I'm mixing this on the plate. You'll see I'm grabbing some of the serpentine. I'm going to mix it on the plate. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start very light. I'm turn that one aside over here. And I'm actually going to add, just because this color is not going to do it, I'm going to add a tiny bit of the lavender in here with this. We're just going to see. Yeah, see, that just cooled it right down. And now I want to bring up my water level. I really want to dilute this. There we go. So I want a nice wet wash of color where this is more creamy. This is very thin. If you think about the consistency of like tea, it's not quite, because it has, well, it's almost like tea. Whereas this one is much thicker, like be much more creamy, like the consistency of, say, well, cream. If you put like cream in your coffee, you know how that's thicker, like a half and half or something like that. It's thicker like that. Maybe like a milk. That's maybe like a milk. It's not, it could be thicker. We're not at mass tone, so it could be thicker. So like tea, kind of like milk, just giving you that, how much I'm mixing. And then just making sure that we are nice and wet. About undersea green, giving atmospheric perspective without trying. Let me just, about undersea green, giving atmospheric perspective without trying. If I ever decide to get back into watercolors, I feel laziness coming on in that case. We're not learning it. It's beautiful. It is so beautiful. And then I'm sorry, I'm seeing that I have another question here. Okay, so far, where did that go? Sorry. So far, which of the two do I like better, NicPro or Artify? Hands down, NicPro. First, just based on first impression of NicPro, I would definitely prefer the NicPro over the Artify brushes, hands down. Not a single one, and that is, and I'm saying that because one, not a single one of them had any issues with the quality control was much better. Okay, that was weird. As far as the how, that's a lot of water. I gotta let that set for a second, which that's no big deal, but I just need to let it set for a second. As far as how they response and how they're acting so far, yep, I still am saying the NicPro. I'm liking the spring that they have to them. Okay, so when I think distant trees, do you see, and this is going to be hard, I need to pop some of that off just because it's not going to give me the distant, it's not going to spread the way I want it to because it was too much water. I wasn't patient enough. You see how I'm doing distant trees? just tap, and let me bring you in. Let me bring you in from the side. Oops. You can't find washi tape that states that it's acid free? Dylan, I will look. I will look and I will share a link for you. I'll look for what I have and I will share a link to that because I know that what I have is acid free. How? Oh, you guys can't see it right now and this is not showing up so great. I want you to be able to see. So when I do my distant trees, literally, I just, boom, right? Just tap. And there's still a little bit much water on here. I'm just going to let them kind of take off and go. I'm just tapping. The brain will fill it in. It knows what a tree looks like. It's going to be like, oh, hey, those are trees. This is still a bit wet, but that's okay. So now I come back with some water. I'm just going to bring that down. Every time I do another row, I add color. So we're on the palette. I need to have you guys overhead. Okay. So you see over here on the palette, up in the corner, your right corner there on your screen, and look at, oh my gosh, guys. You see how that has separated? That's just the serpentine, just separating on its own. Look how almost fluorescent that green looks right there. That is, oh, I have more colors that are coming that I cannot wait to share with you because, so each time I'm going to add a little bit more green into my mix over here so that each time this is going to keep getting darker and darker. This time I'm going to start over here. Can you see those? And each time I would want my trees to get just slightly larger. Than the ones before. Again, I'm not going for any specific shape. Like, yes, they're going to look like trees, but they're not. I'm not trying to get really defined with them. I know it's going to disperse in the water that's on the paper, and that is exactly what I want. And then I'm going to come back in, grab my water, come underneath here, just kind of. And what this is also doing is it's just kind of bringing down that next section to make sure it's still wet or wet again, so that when I come in with those trees coming from this way, as they get darker, I've got the wetness to go wet into wet. Just trying to get more of this green. I hate when they overcook. They overcook. Wow, words would not come out. I hate when they overcook onion rings or French fries. What paint would you recommend for a new painter? For so I'm assuming because we're talking about watercolor today that you are talking about watercolor. It's hard to say if, because we're all in different places. So I absolutely love Daniel Smith paints. I absolutely love Daniel Smith paints. But Daniel Smith budget is not necessarily for everybody because they are definitely not, they're not the most expensive, but they're not least expensive either. I know that I can definitely say, um, just from paying attention to Lindsay, if you guys don't know who I'm talking about the Frugal Crafter. If you're not familiar with her channel, she's amazing. I don't, if you're here, I don't see how you're not familiar with her channel, but you know, it's possible. She has said that her hands down favorite budget paint would be from Superior Paint, not Superior, Paul Rubens. Yes, I think that's Superior that makes them. Anyways, the Paul Rubens paints, which is like the Milang set on Amazon. It's the student grade is going to be sold under Milang, and the more professional but still budget would be like the Paul Rubens. And she highly recommends those. Now, I do have the Milang paints, and if you would like, I can absolutely, I will do a video and I will show those to you, and I'll give you my opinion of them. I haven't used them yet. I do have them. I'm more than happy to do that. Now, each time I go, this is getting darker. I just keep adding in, and now this, I can tell you right now, I don't prefer with, I don't prefer with this color. This painting that I'm doing right now, this is definitely so, and I just started at the bottom because when I drop that first drop, it's gonna explode larger than I want. And once I've used up some of this paint out of my brush, I will come back and I'll catch the tops because I don't want to drop as much paint. And some I just do lines. And if you guys can't see that, let me switch this around because it's not really showing you the view I wanted it to. There you go. Pretty Excellent Paint Palette is her favorite budget brand. Yes, absolutely. That is definitely her favorite budget brand. She likes the Paul Rubens, the Milang, which is Pretty Excellent. It's going to be Milang, Milang. And that is like basically that's like the student version of the Paul Rubens paints. Paul Rubens is supposed to be the step up from that. Both are pretty budget friendly. Of course, what would I recommend? Oh, I love Daniel Smith's paints. I would definitely recommend them. If you want a paint now, if you want a paint that does all the big whoosh and you know you get that like explosion of color, certainly Core is wonderful. But as someone just starting their journey on watercolor, I don't know. You guys may have other opinions, and that's perfectly fine. Please share that. You may feel like Core is wonderful, but I think if you're just starting with watercolor, I think Core can be a little out of control and maybe frustrate someone that's new to watercolor. And so that's, I mean, just my opinion. But I guess you did ask for it. So yeah. I do have those paints though. If you would like to see the ones from Pretty Excellent, I do have them. I'd be happy to show them to you guys. I can just make a regular video on that and put it out. It's not a problem. I need to do it anyway. So sometimes I'll just come down, I'll just keep staggering and I'll just keep building in my values. This absolutely, I'm glad I tried it. I'm not disappointed that I tried it. I do not particularly, I'm using the Shadow Violet now and I'm going to mix it with some of this green. I don't think that this is done, this with Undersea Green, hands down, way because I can just go with undersea green. I can come right in my mass tone and absolutely hit that evergreen color, which is gorgeous. Oh, absolutely not. No, I love the questions. I love the questions. And so then I'm going to come back and I say, oh, now I want one that's my foreground is close up. I guess if I kind of move my hand out of the way, you'd see this a little bit better. I think actually, oops, it's not showing. I don't know why that's not showing. Let's try this one. Oh no, it just washes out. It's that camera is not one of my good ones. We'll just stick with this. But I find that like evergreens, I love doing evergreens. So with, of course, I'm in Maine. We're the pine tree state. I love doing evergreen style trees. Love them. And I'll just do a couple more real quick and we'll call her done for now. Again, this, I've got to show you guys this with sea green, but I warn you from watching ahead of time because it will definitely cause you to want that color if you like doing just nice loose paintings like this. Now, because this is not giving me that dark mass tone that I would want for something right up in the foreground to where you're seeing this and then, right? Because I want to make it look like that's off in the distance behind us. And sometimes I'll let this dry because right now I'm still working wet and wet, which is a little difficult, but I didn't want to let it dry. But you see wet and wet is great for letting things just kind of like spread out. Great. Okay. Thanks, Dylan. Thanks for coming by. We are going to be wrapping this up real soon, but catch the rest of the replay when you have a moment. But yeah, I love doing these little. When I first started doing them, I was like, they were so intimidating to me. Like trying to get the pine trees and make them look right. And now I'm just like, guess what? Your brain says it's a pine tree. And it's a pine tree. Okay. So again, if this was done on if this was done with that undersea green, it'd be so much nicer. So much nicer. I'm just adding in a little bit more of the brown. Just going to add some dimension to that color. Although these are great landscape colors, these two together, not the look that I normally get when I do this. So it's looking different. Not bad, not wrong. It's just looking different to me. And that's okay. And I did see some stuff to check in on the chat, so I'll do that in just a second. Just dropping some darker right at the base of those. And now if I come in with more water than paint, I'm going to cause a back run. So as I come in, like I just needed to grab more dark. And this was not as wet as I wanted it to be, but I just added water to this color. If I went in with this is a very wet brush right now, I would cause a background. I would push some of that color out of the way. But if I pull some of that water, I'm just setting my brush on this paper towel and letting it absorb some of the water out of my brush. Now if I come back in and grab that color, I can come in here and put down this color all I want to, and I'm not going to cause the other paint to push out of my way. Because you'll find if you're doing watercolor and you're putting color down, right now I have a very dry brush, and I'm putting more color down, but if I have more water in my brush than what is already on the paper, that water going in is going to force that color away, and it's going to cause that bloom or that background, which is fine if that's what you're looking for. Not a problem. So, all right, let's talk about what I think of these brushes thus far. And I am loving these colors by Daniel Smith. Here is that one that is now mostly, it's still wet. It's definitely still, the paper's still damp. But there you go. Look at how this has settled. Look at the colors. I am definitely going to do more of this. I will record it. I'm excited to do more of that one and see how it can come out. So I'll do that and then I'll share it with you. I'm going to share a picture of the one I did like this on MeWe so you can see what I'm talking about. I'll share that over on my Clark Fine Art page. And I'll share it to the art group as well. All right, let me catch up on the questions. And that was going to be, all right, back here, right there. Okay. Oh, excellent. That's a great idea. So love how you're making love how you're making easy distant trees look. In one of your next few YouTube videos, could you please do atmospheric perspective with either water soluble or Derwent drawing pencils? I have got, let's see, with water soluble. Yeah, I've got, of course, I have the Albrecht Dürer watercolor pencils, water soluble pencils. The brain is stopping. It's just not working for me right now. So I have those. I have, well, my Graphitin is pans, so then that would be similar to this, but yeah, I will look at that. I will look at that. Absolutely, hobby artist. I will look at doing that. Maybe I will just do a regular video versus doing it live. I'll do that in a regular. I think that would give more benefit, maybe. I don't know. Versus the live, but in the live you can interact with me and ask me questions. So oh, absolutely, Belle. That is exactly, I agree. How do you learn what you need to know if you don't ask? Absolutely. Because, oh, thank you, Jacqueline. That's me. I think the only silly question is the question we don't ask, because then we don't know. Okay. Just double checking. It does look really misty, doesn't it? Like they do I'm telling you, like this one, like I'm not too thrilled about this level here, but like I love how that level is. This level came out great. I'll show you the undersea green, the picture of that one, because it came out wonderful. I wonder if I have it where I could just pop it in and show you right here. Let me see real quick. I might, but if I can't find it in a hot moment, I'm gonna just show it to you on MeWe, because I don't want to keep you waiting. Thought I had it. That's not it. Oh, okay. It was the person I gave it to actually framed it. Let's see. Do I have a picture of it? Okay, I do. Here we go. All right. Yeah, the person I gave it to actually framed it. Let me see if I pop this in here. You ready? Boom. There we go. So this was done with undersea green. And I'm sorry, because I can see this is cropped weird. This is not a good straight on image. What about this one? Shut that off. There we go. That's a little better. It's a little better. Can I get that smaller for you? There we go. So I did this one in undersea green, and you see like back here, this is just, it took on this blue tone. And as it kept getting closer, I was adding color in and adding color in. And then you see what I mean about when you're using undersea green at its mass tone, it's almost black. It is almost black. And it is, oh, well, I just lost it on you, but it's gorgeous in its mass tone. And so you see very different from here, very different from here. I can bring that back in. There we go. Let me just size that down for you a little bit. So yeah, almost black. Its mass tone does come out almost black. When you see how much more you get like that mist, and then you get that, definitely that blue undertone, and all of the yellow just kind of faded in, that's in undersea green, just kind of fades into the background. And you want that nice foggy, like fog rolling in. It is wonderful for stuff like that. So different. This one is definitely different. I just wanted to, experiment and play. Let's see what happens. Why not? Looking through fog during the day. Yeah, exactly. So, okay, Tara asked, how are you finding the brushes so far, working with them? So far, I mean, look at the spring. Look at how it's holding its point. So even when I'm doing this, the bristles are not separating. It is holding its point. It has great spring to it, which I love. So far, I'm liking these. I will like them a whole lot more if I can get those points to straighten out. So Alicia says, I love the variation in the color in the trees. Yeah, can we get that to focus? So you can actually see, look at the granulation there. So when you're looking, you see how with this one, it's like it separates and you get that really warm, almost like a red tone. Now in the undersea green, that is where you end up with a blue tone. And so it really helps with that atmospheric perspective with distant trees, because it's such a cool tone, but yet as you get closer, you get a much warmer look. So yeah, I am loving the granulation though. So I would love to see you do atmospheric perspective with the Albrecht Dürers. Okay, I will be thinking atmospheric perspective and Albrecht Dürer pencils, and we will have to do a pencil piece. We haven't done a pencil piece. So who knows? Then you'll get me all hooked on the pencil pieces. So, okay, Sheila, thank you. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate that. All right, guys. I hope that you really like these. What are your thoughts? Definitely, if right now, if you say NicPro or Artify, NicPro. Hands down, NicPro brushes. Are these the brush? I don't know. I have another set of brushes that I want to try before I call it, and I have to use these more. This was just the first impression. There's so many brushes here. I really want to put them to the test. So I'm going to play around with them in the next couple days. I will use them as I finish the Galaxy Sky, and I will have that. I'm not going to continue that at any point. I will just record it and make a video and put it out for you so that you guys can see the rest of that. So that will be coming. Yeah, I loved them. Please make sure, before I even forget, do check out Ashley and Joseph's channels. Both of them are in the description below. They help me so much keeping everything taken care of with chat and sharing links and stuff for you guys. So do they have a series name on the handle? Great question. And nope, this just says NicPro, but I will tell you they do have a series name, and this is the Galaxy series. So they are the NicPro. There's 15 art brushes, synthetic squirrel, and they are the Galaxy series. And here's the container. You'll see this picture online. Again, the link is in the description. So the Galaxy series, just like line that up, and it came, you know, that was taped here, and they did come in the velvet bag. And I will be reaching out to them. I'm definitely going to be reaching out to them and letting them know that I had brushes, which brushes they were, those 3 that had an issue. And I'll definitely direct them to the video so they can actually see it for themselves if they need to. But yes, so hopefully that answers that question, Belle. They are the Galaxy series. How fitting that the first thing I did was think Galaxy. I don't know. Crazy. Did it subliminally put that in my head? I don't know. I just saw the colors of Daniel Smith and I was like, ooh, I bet those would make a good Galaxy sky. So we'll see. Jacqueline says she's using pencils a lot right now. Yeah, I have a feeling like I'm loving the water soluble media, and we've done a lot of water soluble media on the channel recently. And again, the Albrecht Dürer pencils would also be water soluble, but they would be pencils. So it would be something different, and I'm very happy to switch things up and play. There's so many supplies in the studio for me to use that I haven't shared with you yet. I still have pan pastels I haven't touched yet, and I can't wait to try those. I've got the Stabilo pastel pencils, so I'm looking forward to those as well. Yeah. So guys, check out the moderators. Let me just pop over here so I'm looking at you. Check out the moderators' channels. Their links are in the description. Links to everything that I've shown you today are also in the description. What is this? It's raining sideways, heavy, no thunderstorms. All right. George, thank you for being with me today. I appreciate your support as always and bringing the snacks. So guys, I am going to, of course, have a link for, it's going to be right over here, another video for you to watch next if you're watching this on the replay. And hey, until next time, keep creating. I can't wait to see you back, hopefully again next week. Just pay attention to my social media as things kind of go. I will keep you posted. I will keep you posted in the community tab if I'm not going to be live on a Thursday. But generally, I do like to go live on a Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, I hope you will join me next time. And if you're watching the replay, be sure to check out this video right here. Bye, guys.